Jesus Christ.
Where is this guy?
That's crazy, man. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I hear you. Um, well, I'm trying to do a test on the live stream that I'm hoping uh, to start next week. Just waiting on a piece to come in that I finally was able to buy. Uh, should it'll be for Patreon people. Oh, interesting. I think I might have gotten it to fucking work.
Belonging to Dutch. This is
Um,
Dutch's bike. Take the bike.
Speaking of all that stuff,
You are Dutch. This is
do
bike.
you you're planning on buying a new computer and rig setup, right? At some point. Right, right. I'm thinking along the lines of like by next uh, football season. Yeah, because I thinking when you get that and then get like a simple mic setup and maybe some doing something with a webcam so that we can do like a show where we're all um, on webcam. Truth, yeah. I mean, I didn't know what you were planning on doing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. Uh, so you're saying like a desktop computer you would be spending 2 grand on? Truth. Yeah. Oh, you bought a new laptop? Oh, but you could do it with. I thought you said that thing was like a piece of shit. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that would work. Yeah, and that's, I mean, it's probably like $100 would probably get you. Oh wait, just lost you. Looks like I lost you there. But yeah. I have a Shure SM48 with a Behringer Euphoria UMC 404 HD. See, the big thing is I want to be able to get to the point where you can record locally, and we can kind of scrap this, putting the sound through Skype.
ESPN.
Yeah, you would need like a recording program, kind of like I think there's like GarageBand or, well, right. There's Audacity is free. Yeah, because I worked with Sam and had him send his file. Like have him record locally and then send it, and dude, it sounded like he was in the room with us, so it would like really up our sound levels and stuff. And then from there, going and trying to do the video and whatnot. I think we've got one person watching right now. I don't know if I can see what they're typing anything or not. I don't know if they can hear you. Mostly because, oh, yep, Sam, did you just kiss Johnny? Nice. So Sam's watching.
Hi, Sam.
So basically, the last time we did this whole setup, the problem was only my microphone was going through the output, which is a similar issue we've had, and then I fixed it. So I'm waiting on, I got an iRig 2. That's why you can now hear both John and I. Because I finally figured that out for going through Skype. Now it's the same process going through my fucking Chris, going through my iPad for the sound. So by next week, well, we would still have Skype for normal talking, normal communication. You know what I'm saying? So like you'd have Skype going, and then you'd also be recording the sound separately. And then you would just take the sound file, send it to me, and I would delete the Skype sound from the computer. So it's like double recording basically. Yeah, we would still have the Skype, and I really don't give a shit what the live broadcast sounds like. Um, and eventually, I also downloaded OBS, so I'd get into trying to really produce something with like overlays and stuff and multiple camera angles, because I found a way of doing it with like our phones. So each of our phones could be a camera. Then I've got the iPad and whatnot. So yes, whenever. I mean,
Can't hear Sean. Says he can't hear Sean.
yeah, I know.
Gotcha.
I would prefer the better, like, if you got the $40 microphone and had to wait longer for the better microphone, I prefer the better microphone. It really depends on the $40 one. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Other than just looking around and seeing what other people have used. Truth. I mean, I feel like it could work. I wouldn't want you to buy it and then it not being exactly how we want it to sound. Because then you're just going to have to upgrade again and spend more money. You're talking about the latency in it? High latency? Okay. Let me see what I can do here.
It seems like it's a little better now.
I don't know what I can do. There's things I can. Hey, look at this. Spooky Flog. Crash. Pumpkins. I'll do pumpkins. I like pumpkins. Yeah. Yeah, we can figure that out. But, festive. A couple people are actually watching this. Yeah, I just want to get to a point that we get, continue to upgrade is all. And we've been doing this for over a year now, so I mean we've got the best sound, but there's still like things we can do to make it better. So, yeah. Dance party. Let's go back to normal. Okay. Sorry, fucking around with shit. Shut up, Chris. He just said, can you talk about the 10 sacks the Vikings had yesterday? He is a Vikings fan.
Yeah,
and now he's dying.
That was the game, Sean. It sounds like it. Did you black out? That's good.
Mm.
Jesus. How was the game itself? Yeah.
Yeah.
How's that stadium there? That's pretty new, right? Nice. Nice.
Interesting. Yeah. So we could probably get going here shortly. Sean, are you fairly up to date on the notes? We can run through it and then do the cigarettes. So let me just close this shit out. Sorry, start playing around with new toys. So episode 60, obviously, it's kind of the bi-apocalypse. Were you guys hit with any major start-sit problems because of players on bye? Really? Even with the 6 teams? was it 6 teams out? Nice. Well, I had a few teams where I couldn't make any drops, make any moves because I'd be dropping like major players. Mm. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, that's mainly, I think 6 to 8 is about what I play, so. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. No, that's, I had full benches of buy players, so. Um, oh, there you go. So I guess if you guys didn't have that problem, like we don't necessarily have to go into that. The question being, what player do you think will have a strong second half of the season and help you get into playoffs? Um, John, I'm assuming you have someone for that.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. News and notes. John's got that. Gut check. The midseason awards. Did you write anything down for that, or you able to do that off the top of your head? Okay, I went based off of scoring, like stats. So we might have similar guys, and I don't think that's going to be an issue. Um, then offensive, defensive waivers, the week 9 review. Don't forget about that. Over, satisfied, under, and then Johnny Agree can close out.
Mm-hmm.
So we get right through this,
And then I can get back to red then.
yeah, John's itching to get back to Red Bed, and I need to.
Did you get the White Arabian Horse yet? Oh, so good. So fast.
Really?
Nice.
Well,
I specifically went for that.
yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I went and fucking it started going up the mountain and kicked me off, and then somehow ran up the side of a mountain and just disappeared. Yeah, it was wild. Yeah, it was. I didn't even have that. Like, I went back a million times, slept for like days on end just to try and get them. But someone was saying that if you just go, leave the area, do a mission, excuse me, do a mission or two, it'll show back up. So, yeah. Gotcha. Interesting. All right.
Borrow your pen real quick.
Yeah.
No, I was just talking to Nate. So apparently, when you get off your horse, if you hold left or right, you can get off to that side.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Left or right. And I gotta rename the horse Lenny too, so I can get that going.
Lenny. All right, let's. Are we good? Let's take 5 for a cigarette and get back.
Yep. Okay.
What? Did the Lions do something with coaches today?
No idea.
I just saw a email saying Lions announced coaching change. You got your phone?
Mm-hmm.
Can you Google that real quick?
Mm-hmm.
When we get out there. comes to watching.
They should be playing Red Dead Redemption 2 instead. That's what I'd be doing.
Or watching the game that's going to be on.
Is that right, Meow?
It's on right, Meow?
Yeah, I'm so excited to see Cowboys lose on national TV.
Yeah, but all right, Sean, you there? All right.
What are you doing, Cat? What the fuck is that?
How the fuck did that get down
How
there?
did you? It was up on the hassock, and she didn't get it up there.
Weird. Okay.
Crazy fucking cat.
Crazy cat. There we go. All right. All right, and here we go. Sean, you got your headphones on? All right. Gotcha. Should get one of those portable charging blocks. Oh, that sucks. Sam says this game is gonna suck. Yo.
Hey,
And
hey, DeMarcus Lawrence did something. All right.
cool. All right, you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, welcome back to the IDP guys. This is episode 60. My name is Nathan. I'm joined today with my co-host Johnny
Yeehaw! How's it going, cowpokes?
and Sean.
I've been playing it.
Nice, nice. So we're coming to you guys a day early. Tomorrow is election day, and I have to work the polls, calling in numbers to AP. So I will be unavailable.
Working some polls.
Working some polls. Not exactly what I want to do, but hey, it's an extra few bucks. So with that, we also got. I got hit with bye apocalypse, but apparently you guys didn't. You know, with 6 teams on bye, my lineups were fucked. How'd you guys do?
Yeah, I got lucky. I threw in Cordell Patterson, the only league I really had trouble with. And Dalvin Cook actually doing something helped too.
Yeah, you did some stuff on my bench because I figured the pitch count would have kept him from doing much, but he was playing the Lions, so kill me. So with that, let's launch into the question of the day. What player do you think will have a strong second half of the season and help you get into playoffs?
Defensively, I'm going to go with KJ Wright. I think it's perfect to have gotten him last week and get a solid tier 2 guy for the rest of the season. He'll get you like a floor of 5 or 6 tackles per game, every game, the rest of the year. And if you paired him with Thomas Davis, you got yourself a couple nice linebackers for nothing in the last few weeks here.
Nice. Sean, you got anything for that? Nice, nice. Yeah, I like Duke's production. I had him actually in. I've been playing him, and he just hasn't been doing much. But, yeah. Yeah, for sure. I'm actually going to take the opposite and who might hurt you in the second half and leave you from playoffs based off some interesting news that we'll get into later. But Rashad Jones apparently took himself out of the game this week, so I don't know what's going on there, but if you bought him high and he's not going to play, that could be a determining factor in you not making the playoffs. But we'll get into that a little more in this week's news.
Alrighty, we're a little news late this week because we're a day early. Usually things develop here, but we'll go with what we got. First one is Denzel Ward, hip injury, and Christian Kirksey, hamstring injury. Nothing too serious on either, but they may be out next week. I'll touch on that in defensive waivers later. That's not great. Sean, I know you got Denzel Ward in a couple places, right? Yep. Yeah, if I feel like the majority of injuries have been on the defensive side this year so far. And as the world turns for Le'Veon Bell news, Steelers unsure if Bell will report at all. And Connor had a huge week this week. What do you think, Sean? Does he actually? He has to show up, right? He has to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm with you. So the 49ers are going to keep Mr. Mullins as quarterback this week. Had a great showing. I had no idea who this guy was, but he came out on Thursday Night Football last week, had 3 touchdowns, a couple hundred yards, looked pretty good. Is that a dynasty? I mean, they got Jimmy G, but for the rest of this year, is that a super flex option, or what do you think, Sean? Yeah, I thought it was a minor thing. Yep. Also, coming from that game, a couple days after, Raiders released defensive end Bruce Irvin. That's interesting. He was supposed to be, yeah, he was supposed to be the guy after Mac left, and he's had a terrible season. And it seems like the Raiders are just shutting it down, making cap space, getting picks, and they're gonna, rebuild this thing in Gruden's image. Anyone had any Irvin? Yeah, I didn't play him anywhere. He was pretty god awful. Did you guys have him anywhere?
Nope.
Yeah. And that brings us to the Rashad Jones news. He pulled himself from the game. Whether it was injury related or not, they're not sure and they're not saying. He did have a shoulder injury that has been nagging him the last couple weeks, but this sounds more like he just pulled himself out of the game, like he was pissed or something. And they're 5-4. That's good for Miami. The Fitzpatrick thing happened in the off season. He's had 9-10 weeks to get over that. So I don't know what the hell's going on here. This is just not great if you're a Rashad Jones owner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if he's out there, get Fitzpatrick everywhere you can. Because if he takes over that slot, you saw what he did when Jones was out 2 weeks. He's going to be a monster producer.
Yeah.
Last piece of injury news. We're a little light on injury stuff this week, just because of the day. Kevin King, yeah, which is fine with me. Kevin King, corner, Green Bay, hamstring, should be fine for next week. Kentrell Bryce, knee injury. He sucks anyway, so it doesn't matter. And that's about it.
Nice. Yeah. For more analysis and news, make sure you're going to the idpguys.org website. Obviously, we're coming a little early this week, so it's going to be a little lighter, but we always hit it on the website. So.
Yep.
Alrighty, so this is the part of the show where we pair 2 sets of defenders and a set of offensive players against each other, talk about who we like, who we would put in our lineups if we were setting them. Then we send that out to you guys out in Twitterland and see what you think. And then we talk about it the week after. So let's go with last week's gut checks. I'll start with the offensive, which is a pair of running backs. Denver's Philip Lindsay versus Detroit's Kerryon Johnson with 203 votes. 57% went Kerryon Johnson.
Nice. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, so set of linebackers here. Rams Corey Littleton versus Miami's Kiko Alonso. 94 votes and 55% went Corey Littleton.
Yeah, surprising but correct.
Yeah.
He had another nice week, and Alonso was a little late on the production this week.
Yeah. So a pair of safeties. Tampa Bay's Justin Evans versus Philadelphia's Malcolm Jenkins. 66 votes, 70% went Justin Evans.
Yeah, wow. Didn't expect that, but that's okay. Yeah. Right. Jenkins definitely has the safer production, but yeah, Evans has had a good year. Alrighty, so for this week, we'll start with a pair of linebackers. Very similar, even though they have about a game apart here. So the first one's Levante David, who is now the de facto number one linebacker for the Bucks. Has played and started 8 games, 49 solo tackles, 15 assists, half a sack, 1 pass defense, 1 forced fumble, no picks. Versus Matt Milano, who has played 9 games for the Bills, 36 solo tackles, 19 assists, 1 sack, 5 pass defense, 1 pick, 0 forced fumbles. I'm going Levante David. He's a more consistent producer, better producer, and I think I like his situation better too. He doesn't have as many mouths to feed. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I would definitely go Levante David for the fact that there's no one else there. No, that's the wrong team. Who am I thinking of?
Quan Alexander.
Yeah, Quan Alexander, who got injured recently, isn't there anymore, and dealing with rookies and injured players. What's it? Kendall Beckwith that's coming.
Beckwith and Adarius Taylor and a bunch of people you haven't heard of.
Yeah.
Devontae Bond and stuff like. Yep. Next one is a pair of corners. First one is Janoris, the Jackrabbit Jenkins, has played and started 8 games for the Giants, 33 solo tackles, 6 assists, 6 pass defense, 2 picks, 1 forced fumble. Going against my, he's my second favorite, but now my first favorite corner is Kendall Fuller. Played and started 9 games for the Chiefs, 35 solo tackles, 10 assists, 6 pass defense, 1 pick, no forced fumbles. Jenkins would make more sense because he's on the field more, but I like Fuller just because of the situation Kansas City puts everyone in every week. They go up big early, you have to throw against them. People target Fuller. Fuller gets easy tackles, easy pass defenses every single week, so I'm taking Kendall Fuller.
Nice, I can agree with that.
Sounds good. Last one is going to be right up Sean's alley, I think. A pair of wide receivers. Jarvis Landry of the Browns played and started all 9 games, 55 receptions, 578 yards, 2 touchdowns, no fumbles lost against John Brown with a surprising good season. Played and started all 9 games for the Ravens, 34 receptions, 601 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 fumbles lost. And I like Landry just because of the guaranteed PPR, but what do you think?
Yep, I'll go Landry here too.
Alrighty.
So with that, this episode we're going to do some mid-season awards instead of our typical interview that we usually grab someone for. So with that, we're going to talk about the best in pretty much each position, fantasy-wise: quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, safety, linebacker, defensive end, defensive tackle, and cornerback. Then we'll go into most improved comeback award, offensive defensive rookies, and offensive defensive MVPs. So
my God, Dak, you fucking idiot.
apparently John doesn't like the.
Yeah.
This is why we quit doing them on Mondays.
Sorry, continue.
Yeah. So with that, we can. Do we want to go and just one at a time?
Yeah, let's just.
So let's start off with quarterbacks. Johnny, who do you got?
I got Patrick Mahomes.
And so do I.
What do you got, Sean? Yeah, he's quarterback 3 right now, isn't he? Yeah, I heard that on the trip home. I nearly crashed my car when I heard that.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah.
True.
All right, so with that, we're going to go running back, and this time I'm going to say it first. Todd Gurley.
Yeah, I got Todd Gurley. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got 16 touchdowns already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
He's just got over 1,000 yards all-purpose right now too. So.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So on to wide receiver. I'm guessing we're probably gonna have the same one here, but I'll let Sean say it. Okay. Adam Thielen.
Yeah, Adam Thielen.
That would be.
Did he get a 100-yarder against you guys? I can't remember.
Yeah, we kept him from it. Thanos, wasn't it? Everything. Yeah, yeah. He's just under 1,000 for the year right now
Wow,
with 7 touchdowns.
that's pretty good.
So with that, let's talk about the tight end. I'm assuming this is going to be the same one too. So what do you got, Johnny?
I got Mr. Travis Kelce.
Yup.
Yeah, I can dig it.
Mhm.
I just think you got what you wanted out. You got what you paid for out of him. So
Yeah.
I'm happy with it.
All right, let's talk safeties. And Johnny, who do you have for the number one safety here?
It could be a couple people, but I'm gonna go Buda Baker.
Yep, that's who I got.
Sean, hello.
Your
You're
audio's
like
dropping out.
you're coming in and out here.
Yeah.
No, you're good now. Okay, yeah, you got Buddha. Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, if you look at this, he's the best so far.
Yep.
Yeah.
72 total tackles, 2 sacks, and a touchdown.
Yeah.
As some of what his
Right.
stats are right now.
He's been incredible this year. Yeah.
Mhm.
Landon Collins or
Mhm.
Keanu Neal. Yeah. Right. He's been a great steal. Absolutely. Jamal Adams has been great too. You could have said him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Definitely. Linebacker. Who
Yep.
do you guys got?
Darius Leonard.
Yeah, I got Darius Leonard. Yeah, he's having a ridiculous year. Yeah, he's on pace for 160 something tackles right now. So that's pretty good.
Okay, I just had to cut it. I don't know what you're doing with your microphone, but it's like cutting in and out and like a lot better.
That's good. What was it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes total sense. No, no, it was good for the majority, but it was cutting out a little bit just there.
Yeah, it
All
was. Yeah. Okay, we got it figured
We're
out.
good. All right, so we were on Darius Leonard.
Okay, let me just pull it back and see what we got here for.
Okay.
Those are two of my favorites going in
Yeah,
there, so
sounds good.
I'll take the win on that.
Yeah, he's having a ridiculous year. Pays for 160 something tackles right now. That's pretty good.
Nothing for him.
And you paid nothing for him, is where you were.
Okay, so give me. Do you have anything more to add to it, or we can just go on to?
Okay.
And then defensive end. Who do you got, Johnny?
This is a tough one, man. It's either Aaron Donald or Danielle Hunter. It was Aaron Donald until the last game here against the Lions, where Hunter had like 3.5 sacks to tie him up with Donald for the league lead.
So, where I got my information, they had Aaron Donald as a defensive tackle. Is that inaccurate?
Yes, should be.
Oh shit.
I've seen it both ways. Yeah.
Oh shit. Well, that fucks up my defensive tackle spot, but. Oh no, my D end is Danielle Hunter.
Yeah.
43 total tackles, 11.5 sacks, and a touchdown.
Yeah. Right.
So. Mhm.
Yeah, right. And Donald was slow until the last 2 games before this last one they just had. He had 6 sacks in 2 games, so it's pretty much been all or nothing with him. So for defensive tackle, I'm gonna go Linval Joseph. What do you guys got?
Well, I gave mine as Aaron Donald, so there's that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been solid. He's been. I mean, it's a spotty position just by nature. Like, Snacks Harrison, DeForest Buckner, Linval Joseph. They're not going to be great every week, but he's had enough great weeks that I think he's the guy probably. But probably any one of those three are happy, but Linval's been the best out of the three, I think.
Definitely. So the last one is cornerback. What do you guys got?
I'm going Kendall Fuller.
Okay.
He's been great too. Yeah, he's up there.
And I went completely by the stats. And at defensive back total category, the first cornerback that comes in is at spot 22, and that's Brian Poole. 46 total tackles, 2 sacks, and an interception.
Yeah, but if I remember correctly, he had that in like 1 or 2 games.
That's why I said by stats.
Yeah, he had a couple monsters though. I remember looking at him. I just like Kendall because you're getting something good every single game, which is tough with corner.
Very true.
Very tough.
So let's kick it into the most improved category. Who do you got, Sean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, I went defensive with this. I'm going Buda Baker. He showed flashes of what he was capable of last year, but this year has been a completely different story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going Josh Bynes here. He's been in the league for a number of years and never really done anything until this year, where he's like a LB2, week in week out with some pretty good games there. So as far as most improved, I think Josh Bynes is a good candidate. Plus, he was one of my guys at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with that, we've got the comeback award, and we might as well dub the defensive comeback. Who is it?
J.J. Watt.
Yeah, J.J. Watt.
Yeah.
Congrats to him. We hadn't. We at the beginning of the year we're telling people to stay away from him because we didn't think he could do it, but he did.
It's only half the season.
Well, yeah, for this half the season. As far as his draft price, I mean, he's made good on it now. There's obviously injury could still derail things, but as it looks, as it's been going, he's been doing quite well. So.
What about offensively? What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Agreed.
All right. So offensive rookie. Who do you got, Sean?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Saquon
that's everybody's. Defensive rookie. What do we got?
Darius Leonard, but it could be Jesse Bates also.
Yeah, I got Darius Leonard. He is.
Yeah, overall, yes.
Yeah. Offensive MVP.
Gurley?
Oh, I got Patrick Mahomes, but that's just me. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah,
right.
He just had some really good games there for a stretch, so that's why I crowned it to him.
Yep.
I was playing between those two.
Sure.
But defensive MVP.
That's a tough one, but I'm gonna go Aaron Donald.
Oh.
Yeah. Sure. or Daniil Hunter.
I went Buda Baker.
Interesting. Yeah. All right, so let's defend each here. I'm going defensive line because that's the toughest place to get points semi-consistently, and that fucking 4-sack, 70-point game he had was the craziest thing I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
But I agree with both also,
Yeah. I went Buda Baker. Yeah, I went Buda Baker mainly because of the fact that you got him so cheap, and the linebackers you can kind of make up a lot of production because there's so many, depending on how many you have to start. But in the safety position, I always usually start drafting safeties. So when I do IDP, so having that consistent player is really my MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I think there isn't, as far as between our players, Darius Leonard and Buda Baker, looking at their stats, there isn't a huge drop off. I mean, obviously Darius Leonard, 88 tackles, 4 sacks, and everything. But Buda Baker's right there with 72 tackles and 2 sacks. So, both very good players. So with that, let's switch over to the offensive waiver section.
All right, John, I'm going to fire some at you, and we'll see what we got here. So, this is like the second or third week in a row I'm saying this to you, though. But is it Marquez Valdez-Scantling time yet? Yeah, he actually, I mean, he did not get a touchdown, but he had another, nice PPR game. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he had a nice game. I picked him up this week. How about Duke Johnson? How about Cordell Patterson? Even if Sony Michel's injured again next week? I did this week. I had to. Okay. How about Mike Davis? Okie dokie. What about Adam Humphries? Yeah, Godwin's had a nice season. I've really enjoyed having him. How about Jeff Weirman, whatever. Okie dokie. Yeah, I mean, anyone that grabbed Dixon could probably use a little Harriman this week. What about Judge Ito Smith? Right. Okie dokie. How about Mr. Elijah McGuire with his first week back? Yeah, he had a nice game for his first game back. Anthony Miller, that's a yes, right? Okay. Well, what about Spencer Ware in PPR? Gotcha. That was what I had with this short time period. So that's what we got.
Nice.
Sounds good.
Nice. So let's talk defensive waivers now.
Alrighty, nothing too wild this week. A couple kind of dependent ones here. So if Terrell Edmonds doesn't, Tremaine Edmonds doesn't clear the concussion protocol, you could probably go with Julian Stanford once again as a plug-and-play middle linebacker for the Bills for a week. That's only if Edmonds doesn't clear the protocol, though. He'll probably be fine, so you could probably ignore that. Foye Oluokun is the thing again this week. He led the Falcons in production this week. I haven't seen his snap count yet, but he led them in production this week. And between Gary, Sam, and half the staff on the IDB guys being up this guy's butt, like there's something there. He's probably a good option until Deion Jones gets back. And I saw a tweet from someone saying Pro Football Focus had him as like the number 4 linebacker for the last couple weeks. So that's not bad for a guy that you can get for free. So Trent Murphy was out this week for Buffalo, so they started Shaq Lawson at defensive end, and he had a really, really nice game. So if Murphy continues to be out, this is a guy that was hyped a lot in the offseason, had a lot of potential, didn't get a lot of chances. He's getting the chances now if Trent Murphy continues to be out. So keep an eye on that. You might want to use him for a spot start. Shaq Lawson, defensive end, Buffalo. We talked about Rashad Jones earlier. Go get Minkah Fitzpatrick everywhere. If it's Dynasty, you probably should have pulled the trigger on him anyway, but this might be a legit rest of the season thing. If it's an injury, then okay, he might be out with an injury. If it's not, then that's even worse. That's him throwing a hissy fit and pulling himself out. Either way, Fitzpatrick could get snaps here at safety, which is where he belongs. So go grab yourself some Minkah Fitzpatrick. Kirksey's hamstring injury and Schobert with the other injury, if they're both out this week, Jannard Avery becomes an option at linebacker for the Browns. I don't know how much you want to trust that, but he had a decent game this week after Kirksey went out. Adarius Taylor, who I spent last week saying stay away from until Kendall Beckwith comes back, actually had 9 combined tackles this week, so I have no idea. Yeah, I guess I just don't know. Roll the dice if you want. I did in Dynasty, so I guess I can't talk too much shit. Thomas Davis, another solid game. Eric Reed got banged up, but had a nice solid IDP game with a pick and a few tackles. I didn't see his playing time. I wouldn't be surprised if it's down a little bit because I saw he was questionable after the game. Bradley Chubb continues the hot streak. Had another nice game this week. That's like 4 out of the last 5 weeks. Yeah, you got me this week. I had issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Pretty bad. That's all right though. Yeah. So Eric Reed, keep an eye on that injury, but he's been a great option. Besides that, Bradley Chubb, we were just saying, nice game again. Jatavis Brown, now that Kazir White is on IR, had 11 combined tackles this week. And if you remember from earlier in the year when White went down, this was the guy that kind of plugged in to take his snaps. That's going to be a permanent thing now, so Brown might be an option besides Denzel Perryman if you need some linebacker help. KJ Wright, another solid game. Tedrick Thompson, another solid game. So your Seahawks IDP options are growing. And this was a weird one. Sean, were you blacked out for the New England Green Bay game? Okay. So Martinez got dinged and went to the bench, and Morrison got a ton more snaps and had a huge game. No, unfortunately. It was Antonio Morrison. So I guess that's an option if the Martinez injury is bad. I don't think it is, though. He might even came back into the game. I can't remember. Keep an eye on it, though. If you're super desperate and Martinez is hurt, Antonio Morrison's an option. And that's really all I got for this week.
Nice. Well, let's finish it off strong here with the Week 9 review. We go over a player. Each of us goes over a player that's gone over our production rankings, satisfied our rankings, or were under the rankings. So with that, let's start off with over. I went Mario Addison. 3 sacks, 3 tackles, and 2 tackles for a loss. Very good for the week. The sacks, getting that high of sacks is not something that's going to happen often. So definitely an overproduction.
Yes. I'm going to take Avery Williamson. He's been solid since week 2, but he really went nuts this week with 12 combined tackles and 1 sack. That's a nice game for Mr. Williamson. What do you got, Sean? Yeah, anytime he shows up on the trending transactions, something crazy happened.
Yep. So with that, let's talk satisfied. The player that came in right about where you want him to. I got Kiko Alonso here. 4 tackles, an interception, and 3 assists. I mean, the interception really helped bring him up into the satisfied range. So let's hope that he turns that into more tackles next week. But as far as being able to play him, he came in right about where you want him.
I am going to happily go with Everson Griffin this week, who
Nice.
had 3 solo tackles, 1 assist, 1 tackle for loss, and 1.5 sacks. That's probably a tad bit over what you're going to get from him every week, but it was nice to see him back in action doing what you drafted him to do.
Yep.
Yeah, certainly. I've been waiting all year for this. So that was nice.
Yeah, for sure. So let's talk about under those guys that came in under our rankings and did not do so hot. Mine, I'm going to say everyone that was on bye this week that screwed me.
All right. I'm going to go with Mason Foster, who had just 5 combined tackles. It was not an ideal matchup for him. He does better against teams like Dallas that run and have short passes. Falcons were just bombing the ball all game, scoring on big plays all game. So there just weren't a lot of tackles to go around. He'll be fine. Yeah, he started quick too. That's the thing. He had 2 for 49 in the first quarter and then nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I don't know if it really had a lot to do with the fact that the Minnesota Vikings defense is Didn't they say it's the number one statistical defense this year? Um, yeah, I think they were going to give us problems regardless. Golden Tate really would have put us over the top, but I think that we can get that kind of production that he got us in other ways if the coaching staff can get their heads out of their asses. Yeah. Mm, yeah.
Yeah, you guys gotta protect the quarterback better too.
Yeah. It very much was so.
Okay, we're in a bit of a hot streak. We actually nailed that one too with KC minus 8.5 at Cleveland. And Bovada hadn't updated yet last night, so give me 1 second, okay? I'm serious. This week's games weren't on there yet.
Oh, I believe it. I mean, the Monday night game's going on right now, so again, this is a lot to do with the fact that we recorded early. Just have to deal with that this week, but next week we'll be back on schedule for sure.
Absolutely. So, all right, next week's lines are up, and I will take. Ooh, you guys play the Bears next week.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. I'm gonna go Saints -5 at Cincinnati. Saints are on a serious tear, serious roll. I think they're just gonna steamroll the Bengals.
Yeah, I could see it. They got over the Rams.
Right.
It was. You think so? Do you think Khalil Mack will be on the sideline still? Ooh.
Nice. Mark it down. Mm.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is. There you have it. Shots fired to all our Bears listeners. I think we have one. Yeah, probably. All right, so make sure you're following us on Twitter at IDP Guys. Individually, I'm at Nate Cheat. John is at OrangeMan3142. Sean is at Lanny1925. You can definitely at him with that Bears hot take there. Subscribe to the show. If you go to our website, idpguys.org, and go to the sidebar, there is some links to Google Play, Stitcher, iTunes, where you can get the show straight to your phone or whatever device you choose to use. Also, there is an RSS feed for you to be able to input it into your favorite podcatcher. If you'd like to help out the show, IDP or patreon.com/IDP guys. Donate whatever you can to help us. We do this, kind of a labor of love, but it does come with an overhead. We offer a lot of great perks for our donors, and so you can get like access to our Discord channel, a private server on it, to talk directly to us, and numerous other things. We're also launching a live stream of the show as we record that'll be just for Patreon users. We're doing a test actually during this show, and it will be in full force next week. and so that'll be really great, and we'll be able to take your questions on the show. So make sure you get involved in that. Also, speaking of live streams, Gary Van Dyke at HBogart27 on Twitter every Sunday does a start sit Periscope where you can ask questions, who to start and who to sit for your games that day, for your lineups. So make sure you're checking him out, follow him, and be watching those live streams.
Oh, you're so close to circling the drain. Come on. Implode on us.
Well, that's it. I'm not gonna do our records because their games are still going, and there's no point in trying to come up with the records for the week. So with that, we'll see everyone next week, and hopefully you'll actually be able to see us if you're a Patreon donor.
Great.
There we go. That was it.
Perfect.
48 minutes.
Wow. Shit.
Yeah.
That was quick.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I just kind of wanted to get through it and not have to be up
Ooh.
all. No, I don't think it was. I mean, Monday kind of handicapped us a little bit, but we got the video. Let me end this live stream. How do I do this? Oh, there it is.